this working? Uh-oh. Are we currently streaming or not? Oh, I guess we are. I just got the notification that I'm streaming on YouTube, but I can't see it on YouTube. Where am I live? Can anyone see me? There's a chat. Chat, are we on? Regardless, why can't I see anyone? This is so silly. Am I gonna have to watch this from my phone? I was gonna do an Instagram live stream. Oh, there are people! Okay. But I can't see people on here. That's a little silly. Anyway, can someone comment something so that I know that this is working and I'm not just speaking into the void? I don't know. I think that would be silly. Otherwise... Oh! I see my stream. That's mine. Okay. Anyways. Welcome, welcome. Guys, I'm spitballing here. I should be able to see theoretically if I'm going live. Go live. Oh! Live viewers 5. Excellent. Very nice. Oh! Hello, Alpha Ice Queen. Alpha Ice Queen is making their graduation cap cover right now. That is so cool. What are you studying? And while we're doing this, I'm gonna go live on Instagram at the same time. So we're gonna maximize our live. Oh my gosh. We're now live on Instagram and YouTube, not Etsy. Let me title the Instagram thing. Can I like make a title for it, or am I just gonna be like, fine. Alright, it is what it is. We're crocheting, we're here, we're welcome. Hello. It's a rainbow crochet flower square. That's so cool. I recently graduated. I have a video on my YouTube channel for those who don't know where I show crocheting my graduation cap cover. I made like a little granny square and it was blue and then light blue because the school that I went to had light blue colors. So today I'm going to be crocheting a bunny wearing a frog costume. This pattern is by Crochet Calls on Instagram. So I have to start. I have the pattern in front of me and I'm not going to show it because I paid for it and I don't want to devalue their work by putting it on Instagram and YouTube and whatever for free. Hello everyone on Instagram. We're going to be doing a live stream on Instagram and YouTube, so this is so cool. So anyway, we're going to start with 8 stitches into a magic ring. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But yeah, I wanted to come on today because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. First of all, to see how well I can multitask. Second, to test out, I got a new computer in July, which is when I moved to this apartment. I graduated college, as I mentioned, and wanted to upgrade my MacBook Air that was on his last legs. There he is. Behold. Yeah, there's some inappropriate pictures. Where you close that? But I would say it did its job, but it really didn't even do that. For those of you who were around when I did the bracelet book moderating videos or the lives, my computer would just like break down. It could not handle this. So after some relearning how to do streaming in the first place, I decided to take the plunge after a day of work and a day of going to the gym afterwards and decided to stream. So yeah. We're just counting right now. We're doing the head, as you can see in the photo on YouTube. Sorry, I wasn't able to figure out how to put the photo on Instagram because Instagram was like, you can't stream on Instagram and YouTube from the same source. I'm using a third app. It's called OBS Studio. For those of you who like Twitch streaming or something, you might be familiar with it. So you can combine several elements. So like for example, on my YouTube channel, I have like a picture of the bunny that I'm making, as well as some text being like what I'm currently making, a bunny wearing a frog costume. So for our next row, we'll be doing single crochet, alternating with single crochet increases. On Instagram, Arts and End Store says I started off doing bracelets and got into crochet after too. Wow, this is the pipeline. So yeah, I actually started making friendship bracelets too. If you are not familiar, my YouTube channel, I make a ton of friendship bracelet tutorials, and I really enjoyed doing that during the pandemic and kind of before the pandemic and after the pandemic. But afterwards I realized when I started doing markets that the friendship bracelets didn't do nearly as well as the crochet plushies, which is like to be understood, because if you're like, say if I spend 5 hours on a bracelet, I would charge 5 hours times say $20 an hour, or even say $10 an hour, so like below minimum wage in the United States. That would be like $50, and no one's going to pay $50 for like a little tiny bracelet that they end up making. But for a plushie that's much bigger, that's something you can hold and cuddle and have for many years, and like it's less likely it'll fall apart or something. So for that I can charge $50 for a plushie, and people are like much more likely to buy it. So I felt like that was a better use of my time. I felt like I enjoyed it more. I just, you grow out of it. You don't have to be enjoying the same thing. I'm not saying that I am too old for bracelets now, although I'm not wearing any bracelets. I just have my Garmin watch because I'm enjoying running and weightlifting and biking and hiking and all sorts of other activities to keep me moving, because as Chris Traeger, I think, in Parks and Rec said, if I keep my mind occupied and my body moving, I'll avoid falling into a bottomless pit of depression or something like that. So that's sort of the goal, not to say that we're anywhere near a bottomless pit of depression, but it's still just fun to keep busy, to see what I can do. And actually relating to keeping busy and exercising in general, I signed up for a half marathon, and it's going to be happening in 2 weeks, and I'm very excited but also very scared. Comment on Instagram, just came here, do you not make bracelets anymore? You're the first video I ever watched on them. That's so sweet. I'm so honored to be your first. No, I don't really make bracelets anymore. If you can see in the back, you might not be able to see on Instagram, but on YouTube right here there are some strings. Here on Instagram, I'll just turn the phone. There's my yarn shelf, and so right there I still have a lot of embroidery thread just kind of being accumulated, and maybe I'll get back into it, but I allow myself to not, I don't force myself to do hobbies that I don't want to do, even if most of my YouTube subscribers are there for the bracelets, and I know like that'll theoretically make me more money than like doing live streams where I have like 6 people joining. But it's what I like to do with the crocheting, and I'm fortunate enough that I don't depend on YouTube for income. So what random amount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 3 and then increase. Yeah, I don't depend on YouTube for income, so I don't have to do like what the people want, and having that flexibility I think allows me to not get burnt out. Although, sorry for not posting a YouTube video in like 6 months. Good luck on the marathon. Thank you. Are you ever going to make an apartment or craft hobby room tour? I think if people were interested, I might. I do have, this is my like craft room. When I was looking for apartments, I specifically said, I would like a 1-bedroom with den or a 2-bedroom apartment, please. And they looked at me like a 21-something person, and they're like, you don't need 2 bedrooms. And I was like, actually, I do. And I was like, I'm gonna pay for it. Like, would you rent me a room if I can pay for it? And so the reason that this is a den, and technically not like a 2-bedroom, is there's no closet. So if you'll notice, it's just wall, and there's a window there, which I really like. So I have the natural 6 p.m. what time is it? 6:30 p.m. light here in upstate New York, and yeah, so I get to save a little bit of rent versus if I were to get a 2-bedroom. The 2nd bedroom might be a little bit bigger, but I'd be like paying for a closet, which I don't technically use. So hello, long time no see. Today, for those of us who are just joining, I'm crocheting a bunny with a frog costume. The pattern is by Crochet Calls on Instagram, and I bought it from their Etsy shop, so I will not be sharing it, but you'll get to follow along in my confusion when I'm like, what round are we on now? And I'm doing my absolute best to be counting while I'm talking. And the worst part is there's not even anyone to talk back, so I can't kind of zone out while someone else is talking back. But yeah, I mean, on my side, there's a bunch of like I mentioned, I'm using OBS Studio, which is kind of like a film mixing software, and it's fun because I get to see like on the producer side what I'm doing. Alright, now we're doing 7 rounds of just single crochet, which I can get behind because that means I can single crochet and zone out for a while. And not have, I say this and then I lose track of the stitch I'm doing. This is the yarn I'm using. This is like they do in the makeup videos. This is Bernat Blanket. It is in shade white, I think. But what I'm going to be doing for the frog is Premier yarn. Ooh, very nice. It's in shade Kiwi, and the reason why it is so very nice is because one, no other brand that I can find makes blanket consistency yarn that is this neon bright shade of green. And 2, it's exciting because I am a Premier affiliate as of like a week ago. I thought that maybe I could become an affiliate of theirs because I have a fair amount of subscribers slash streamers slash followers on across my social media, and I could spread the gospel. And they were like, yes, here is a unique link where you can share this with your followers, and if you get them to buy something, we'll pay you 10%. So I can't unfortunately give you a discount code, which I don't like because you guys really have no incentive to use the code except for being like supporting my favorite crocheter slash former friendship bracelet maker. But I don't want to be annoying and be like one of the influencers who have just succumbed to the influencer grind and just becoming a walking advertisement for different companies in the endless pursuit to make 10% of whatever you're ordering. But yeah, I'm in the middle of testing the little cupcake for Crochet by Zaddy. Zaddy is a cool name. Zaddy. I've never heard of that name before, but that's really cool. I don't think I've seen that one. I'll have to check it out. Will the overalls fit on the bunny if the Premier yarn is slightly smaller, or are you going to size up a hook for it? I actually think they're the same thickness. I haven't crocheted anything with the 2 of them together. Oh, you are right, it is slightly smaller because what I've been using is the Hobby Lobby yarn in lime green, and that's like way smaller. Like I did have to size down a hook, and what I ended up doing was just making the straps a little bit longer, and then it's like a little low cut, like the rabbit's kind of slutty about it. So, but it's fine. Have you made any crochet whales, sharks, or fish? Yes, actually, I have made a bunch of little worry whales. They're like this big, and you can just, as someone said at market, you can squeeze the you-know-what out of it. I don't want to be cursing, but she did use a dirtier word and it was pretty funny. They sell really well. I sell them for like $8, which is, for me, I think one of the biggest profit margins because they take me like 10 minutes to make because I tend to go pretty fast when I'm not just like yapping away on live stream. But I also have made larger whales and also a larger strawberry whale. So a strawberry whale is just like a regular whale, but the strawberry whale it's pink instead of blue, and it has white embroidered seeds on it, which I think is fun. And then also there's like a little strawberry leaf thing on his hat, so he can more closely resemble a strawberry and always gets a lot of smiles. So yeah, we've run out of white yarn, but worry not, I have more. So we'll be connecting it, and these are just multiple balls that I spun on the same ball of yarn. So if you all are not familiar with the magic knot, I highly recommend using it when you're doing, where's the center? Oh, there it is. The magic knot can be very helpful for two-dimensional things, two-dimensional pieces. Oh my gosh, I'm lost now. Where you're seeing the front and the back, and so you can't just have a knot poking through. But for me, since I'm doing a three-dimensional thing and I can just poke the yarn on the inside of the thing that I'm making, I don't care, so I'm just joining it like so. FYI, I always wanted to go do a market in your area. I see so many there, but I just gotta do the trip. I live in New York City. Yeah, I'm like 2.5 hours by train north of New York City. I know the struggle because I want to go to New York City a lot. I live in around Albany, New York, for those who are not familiar with where I'm currently at. And the train ride there and back, it's 2.5 hours. It's much better than driving. I remember driving there when I was younger, We had an hour head start because I lived an hour south of where I'm living now. But driving, once you get past like Westchester, which is like a more congested metropolitan area of the city, it starts getting really challenging. But I think it's like $38 each way, and once Amtrak had a sale, and Amtrak is the only train who does it. I know you can do buses, but buses do take longer because they take forever to stop. But they once had a sale for $24 each way, so I was able to get there and back for $48. And then I stayed in a hostel for 2 nights, which again was a little sketchy, but the hostel was, I think, $43 a night, which is super expensive by hostel standards, but really cheap by like New York standards. Like New York City hotels are like $150 lowest, and that's for like a not great quality New York City hotel. So yeah, train is the way to go. So anyway, training for a half marathon. Speaking of trains, what a segue! And it's a little challenging because I have to run for super long periods of time. Like, who knew? Who would have thunk that to run 13.1 miles, you have to run a lot during the week. I've been increasing my running mileage from 10 miles a week to around 20, which is doubling how long I'm running, and I'm trying to squeeze that in into 3 runs during the week. So I have a run club that meets Tuesday and Thursday, and then I do like a longer run on the weekends. And to be honest, I have to do the run club because it like pushes me to socialize, and like I'm kind of introverted at work, and just due to the nature of my job, I tend to spend most of the day alone, and I love that because if I had to socialize every single day, I'd burn out. I just felt like I haven't been socializing in that long of a time, which is part of the reason why I feel like this is socializing more than like just sitting on my couch crocheting and stuff. So, oh, going on the train is chill. The problem is getting all the market products on the train. That is much worse. I thought you meant you just wanted to visit, but yeah, if you actually want to come up here from New York City and do a market, that would be a nightmare. I would not want to do that. When I was in college, I didn't have a car, and so I would have to Uber to all the markets, so I only chose markets that were in a mile of my house, which was like a very tough challenge. It wasn't that bad because I was in college, so I wasn't going to be doing that many markets because I was like literally drowning in work the whole time, and I didn't have that much time. But also the Ubers would just be like $10, $15 each way, and that would just be, 30 more bucks that I can't count out of my profits. So now that I have a car, I don't really count the gas because I try to keep things within like half an hour of where I live, which you can hit most of the capital region that way, which is just the area surrounding Albany for those who aren't here. So it's, $3 or something. If you ever need a place to stay in the city for a night, my girlfriend and I have some space. Oh my god, we're gonna have a market party. We're gonna be making so many crochet sleepover. It's gonna go crazy. I just watched your bracelet stuff back in 2020. Nice to see you again. Thanks for hopping on. Yeah, I think having the hyperfixation of starting a YouTube channel and streaming and doing bracelet stuff was the way to go, honestly. I probably should have scheduled some content so that I didn't post 4 videos in a week for like several months and then proceeded to not post, except for like once every 6 months. So I think I could have scheduled that out a bit better, but to be honest, I think we were all so lonely and isolated that it was just better for us to have this online community where we can make friendship bracelets and share our progress. And I was a moderator on Bracelet Book 2. I think I still am, actually. So it would be cool to go through, although I haven't read through the moderator guidelines if there even are updated. Alright, let's make sure I'm not yapping too much. So we had to do 7 rounds for the head, and I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, phew. 2 more. Way to go. Remember, it's time to drink water. Today, I'm drinking water. It's a great treat. There's a lemon in it because I squeezed the lemon and then I was like, I will just throw the rest of the lemon in. I didn't want it to go to waste. And there used to be ice cubes, but they melted because it took me ooh, that's a very strong lemon. Water with a lemon slice. Water with a lime slice. There are no ice cubes because it took me so long to figure out how to start OBS Studio, which is what I'm using to stream on YouTube, to get the funny text on the screen and just to see if I wanted to like leave and get food, which I probably will do eventually, or use the bathroom. I wanted to have like a split screen that says like please stand by, so I was able to do it here. I'm gonna do it on YouTube for Instagram. It's... I don't know, but anyway. I feel that you made so much content, don't feel bad. Yes, I was, oh wait, to put the stitch marker back, yes. I was making so much content, because I was finishing college, sorry, I was finishing high school. It was March 2020, I graduated high school in June 2020. I had applied to all my colleges by then. I got accepted to the college that I thought I was going to go to, Georgia Tech, on March 13th, 2020. I got waitlisted from Johns Hopkins March 14th, 2020. And then I was like, okay, Georgia Tech is a great school. I'm just going to go there. And I just did not try in school. Like, I knew that my grades didn't matter as long as I didn't fail any classes, which I wasn't going to. And then my teachers kind of stopped caring, and they just had us watch YouTube videos. So, like, 2 weeks into the pandemic, I did the 24-hour bracelet challenge, which was a terrible idea. I'm still recovering from sleep from that. Not really. But I stayed from 1 a.m. to 1 a.m. on like 2 days making bracelets and making videos and making earrings and all sorts of business-related things. And that was, like, super cool to see if I could do it. Maybe I'll do, like, 2 12-hour days, but I'm so busy bouncing around. It's really hard to do that as a full-time adult. But yeah, as someone who had gotten into college and really didn't have anything else to work for, I guess, not really, but making bracelets was just such a great way to fill my time, and I think I'm a creative person. 1, 2, 3, 4. How am I still on 5? I just counted. Okay, maybe I counted wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, one more. Yeah. Oh, more comments. I'm scrolling past them. I feel like content-wise, you can always just post a time-lapse of you crocheting or crochet in real time, just like that. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, but I know a lot of people really like friendship bracelet stuff, and so I'm worried they're going to be like, where are the friendship bracelets? But also on Instagram, a lot more of my followers are crochet, because that's what I have been posting. So maybe on YouTube, if I just do like a let's crochet, chat with me, or whatever, like I'm doing now, I think that would be fun. Or like someone mentioned earlier, doing a tour of the apartment as like my big adult apartment, or like my art supplies or something. Awesome huge mason jar. Thank you. It's time to drink water. I got this from, I think, a pasta sauce conglomerate. I don't know. It was from a pasta jar of some sort, and then I washed the jar. I remember the day I discovered you on YouTube. I made bracelets for 10 hours continuously, and the next day at school everyone begged me for my bracelets, and I thought that was so cool. That is so cool. Thank you for the support and the ad revenue, and hopefully you found a new hobby. What are you making? Today I'm making a bunny in a frog costume. I almost said bunny in a crochet costume. The pattern is by Crochet Calls on Instagram, and if you see me looking back and forth, it's because I'm streaming on both no, not Etsy. You can't stream on that. I'm streaming on Instagram and YouTube. So, YouTube people, we're getting a lot of chatting in the Instagram, but we're not getting a lot of chatting in the YouTube. So, YouTube guys, we gotta make you fight with each other. We should do like the AI bots where the ChatGPT and like Google Gemini or whatever, they talk to each other and make you guys fight. Do you do drawing? No, drawing is not something that I do. The closest thing that I do to drawing is like in 9th grade I made a couple like mandalas, like with just Sharpie and paper, and that was pretty cool. And then I scanned one of them and shrunk it down and made it into a sticker, and then I bring the stickers to every market and no one buys them because it's like not a funny sticker. It's not like, I can't merge, please don't merge with me, or I can't drive. Before we start or continue yapping, I have to do 3 single crochets and 1 double crochet, 1 decrease, 3 single crochet, 1 decrease. I just read the SCDEC, which is the abbreviation, and I can't like think about that in like normal human syntax. So here's what we're looking like right now. Eventually it will look more like a bunny in a frog costume and less like a yarmulke, l'chaim. I'm Jewish, so I can say that. It is not cultural appropriation, it's cultural appreciation for my own culture. 3 single crochets, 1 decrease. Oh, we are so back. 3, yes. Yes, 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 yes. I took Yiddish for a semester in college. It was very fun, and I sometimes wish I took more Yiddish, but also I literally would not have graduated in time if I took one more class. Your accent is so satisfying to me. I love it. Hi from Scotland. Oh my god. That's cool. No one's ever told me I had a cool accent. Hello from upstate New York in America. I apologize for what my country's doing to the rest of the world and to climate change in general, but I'm doing my best. New York is a relatively safe space, so happy to be here. Oh, someone commented, question for you, do you still find yourself getting sales on Etsy without posting YouTube content? Yes. I make way more sales in person. My Etsy sales have slowed down since the pandemic ended. I think they usually ramp up a little bit over Christmas, and I think they're mostly due to Instagram advertising when I try to have control over like my own advertising. You can do like Etsy ads, which will, like Etsy will push your content out to others, but for something like crocheting, a lot of people don't have unique stuff. So like, for example, I'm using a pattern that someone else made. Oh no, I'm 2 stitches off. What a nightmare. All right, we're gonna take a counting break, and I'm gonna count. We should have 32 stitches. Let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Uh-oh. Okay. I don't know what happened. I'll do one more decrease and it will be fine. No one will know. Wow. See, as an engineer, someone who's been trained in the classical field of chemical and biomolecular engineering, one learns to solve problems. That is why they hired me at my current job, because they were like, can you solve problems? And I was like, I think so, but you haven't trained me how to do anything, but in theory I could. And then they were like, very nice, here's some money, go sit in your office and do math for us all day. And I'm like, yes, please, I love to see that paycheck. So no, but real talk, I work in the biopharmaceutical industry, which is basically I make drugs, but only the healthy kind, and I hope I don't say that word too many times because I don't want the social media wizards to demonetize me. So now we're going to be doing 2 and then a decrease, 2, decrease, 2, decrease, 2, decrease, 2. Yes, okay. I'm Jewish too, my mom knows Yiddish and I know the basic Jewish Yiddish terms. That's amazing! L'chaim, that's actually Hebrew, but guten Morgen, that is good morning. It's like German. It's like if a German person tried really hard to remember how to speak Russian, and that's like approximately what Yiddish is. It's kind of like a mix of German and Slavic languages, but it's written in Hebrew characters, so kind of mixes things up. Okay, we aligned with all our stitches. Phew! Add safety eyes between rounds 9 and 10, 7 stitches apart, begin to stuff. Okay. So we have our eyes. Behold, and I forget how big the eyes I used were. So I'm going to try and match them with the picture, which I have. Oh, we're running out of 14 millimeter eyes, which I think is what I'm going to try and do. 9 and 10, rounds 9 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe I shouldn't have chosen such a counting intensive pattern. Around 7 stitches apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So about there, maybe? Chat, what do we think? I'm trying, it's mirrored on YouTube but not on Instagram, so I'm doing my best. I think that's good enough. Let me reference the pattern itself. I think, behold, I think that's, yeah, because the eye goes to like about half the stitch in both. Great. Yes. And with adding the safety eyes, the challenge is always putting it in between the correct combination of stitches so that it doesn't just fall out, and choosing the correct size washer, because I get them from a few places, and so that one doesn't fit, for example. So you always have to pull back on it and make sure, because you want it to come apart now and not when some child is playing with it and then their parents sue you, and there goes your whole business and retirement savings. I can't find any that fit. Alright, we're gonna have to go down a size because I don't want to try all of the sizes I have. Fantastic. Alright, now we have our eyes. I think the eyes look good. Thank you. Do you miss making bracelets, or has crocheting sufficed? Sometimes I miss making bracelets, and then when I try and make a bracelet related item, about halfway through I'll be like, I see why I switched to crocheting. The most recent bracelet related thing that I made was in August. I made a keychain for my then partner. It is a very pretty Celtic design. You can see it on my Instagram if you scroll back to like August or something, which is when I posted it. I brought myself out of my bracelet lapse, and I was like, I really like this person, so I'm going to make them a keychain. And then we broke up like 2 weeks later. But to be fair, we had been together for like 6 months. So I thought, it's like the sweater curse when you crochet, where it's like if you decide you're going to crochet a sweater for your partner, there's like a 2/3 chance they're going to break up with you before you finish the sweater, and then all that work will have been for nothing. So kind of like that. But fortunately it didn't take that long. But still a little bummed. Understatement of the year. It took me several months to heal, which is also why my social media presence went down for a bit, and then it went back up because I'm like, worry not, I am back, and I am better than before. I don't know. But yeah, I still have a lot of the thread yonder, but I've been taking the opportunity of having a new apartment to make a yarn room, so I'm enjoying the fullness of the IKEA Kiwi, which is the 5x5 thing, and it was wonderful because I learned how to email people. Specifically, I found an accountant and I emailed them, and I was like, could you do my taxes for me? And he was like, for $300 I'll do your taxes. And I was like, say less. My last accountant charged me $900 because I had to file in both New York and Maryland. So he did my taxes, and this man got me $6,000 of tax refund. Oh, that's like, how many bobas is that? One boba is $6. That's 1,000 bobas. So, yeah. So the 300, I can handle that for another day. I don't want to post and be like, my accountant got me $6,000 in tax refund. And if you're wondering how I earned that, or how I got that much of a refund, that's not going to happen every year, but it's because I started a job in July. That's the biopharmaceutical job. That's how I make most of my money. That's how I afford rent. That's how I afford to have a second bedroom, effectively, in my apartment. And my salary is a certain amount of money that I won't share, but they were taking the appropriate amount of tax out, assuming I was making that much in a year. And I wasn't, because I started in July, so I made less than half. If I started in June, it would be half. If I started in January, it would have been the full thing. So say I was making $100,000, which I'm not, but just for the sake of easy math, they were taking out the equivalent of maybe like, I don't know, 10,000, probably 20,000, yeah, 22% tax bracket, so $20,000. But really, like, I was making $100,000 if I worked the full year, but I worked less than half the year. So instead of paying me $100,000, really, they only paid me $40,000, and they still took out, now I'm getting confused. They took out more than they needed to take out, and so I ended up getting a lot of that money back, and also looping it back to the IKEA Kiwi, which is just a shelf, and there's more tables, and the chair, and this computer. Because I only use it for my business, I was able to count it all as a business expense. I wrote down every single ball of yarn that I bought, and all of the polyfill, this way, sorry, it's mirrored on YouTube, so all of the polyfill that I bought 60, I think all of this is polyfill down there. I think these are all Oh my god, hey guys, what's up? My stepbro's here, guys. What's up, stepbro? Yeah, so shout out to my accountant, and I can count the $300 that he has not yet charged me towards my business expenses for next year. Someone commented, wait, I used to watch your bracelet videos during COVID. I knew I recognized you from somewhere. LOL. Yes, it's me. Welcome. The reason why I'm stagnating here is because I have 16 stitches left, and usually when I make patterns, they're on a multiple of 6, not 8. So this one's a multiple of 8, which means there are 16 stitches here. And when there are only 6 stitches, then there's 12 left, and I'll just kind of cinch it up now. But 16 is a lot to cinch up, so I might decrease and see where we're at. So then maybe I'll just cinch up the 8. I think, yeah, I think that will be the better way to go. Oh, and there's more polyfill down here, which is why I've just been like reaching in and like shoving polyfill in. So can't forget our stitch marker. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. Keep getting the lemon juice. Gotta remember to drink normal water before I brush my teeth tonight, because we don't want that lemon juice eroding your enamel. That would not be good. My father's a dentist, so I feel adequately trained to be giving dental advice, but not quite. I think last time I made this, I did one of these rows in the back loop so that it would be easier to like sew on, but it's too late. I don't want to unravel. Would you consider making a Discord to have more of an interactive live in a sense? Say more. Tell me more. How would having a Discord make it interactive? I made a Discord just for myself. It's called Alex's Brain Dump, and no one is allowed. I invited the aforementioned former partner of mine into it, and then I started booting them off all the channels because I didn't want them to see anything, and it would have been better to just make our own Discord. But I am so very intrigued by an interactive Discord. People who use Discord, please tell me, do you like it? What do you use it for? I use it. I'm in a Discord of small businesses in the capital region of upstate New York, where we all are like, when's the next market? And then the person's in charge is like, this is the next market. And we're like, very cool, thank you. And they arrange like vendor meetups and stuff, which is cool. And obviously we couldn't really do vendor meetups because the capital region small business chat is, or server is geared towards people in the same location, but we are all worldwide, so that wouldn't really work. But we could do things. I mean, we could share like works in progress, or we could share like selfies, or I don't know, we could have a crocheting channel, maybe a friendship bracelet channel, but my fear is that people wouldn't post in there, because it would just be like one more thing. Like if people are overwhelmed posting on their Instagram, they might also be overwhelmed posting on Discord, but then again, it's like a smaller community where not everyone is going to be like, you know, hyper-examining their content. Alright, one head, his eyes. I wish I could figure out how to adjust the exposure. Oh, it adjusts automatically on my webcam. I bought a Smexy new webcam. That was a business expense. And it's pretty cool. And I also have a gamer computer, and I can't show the computer on YouTube, but I can show it on Instagram. Wow! And that's me on YouTube. Very cool. Very cool. So I can live my Twitch gamer dreams, even though the only video game I play is Tetris. What if we did a Tetris stream, you guys? On Discord, you can make a public one where you can stream or go on calls where people can turn their mics or cameras on and people can share messages in the form of text, pictures, video, etc. Thank you. That was a very succinct but yet descriptive explanation of Discord. I forgot that you can do video calls with multiple people, so we could just have like a stitch and bitch. A crochet and chat session where everyone could be doing their own crafts or even just vibing of sorts. I think that would be fun. I think that is something that I might look into. Perhaps I will do a poll on the Instagram and see if people would be interested in joining. I know other creators have Discords for their various things, and other people in general, like influencers, and maybe we could just do like a Pump Picks channel, just just because I feel weird posting pump pics on Instagram. Pump pics are like pictures of going to the gym and stuff, and like loose glaze. But there, I feel like it would be less under the public eye and more of like, behold, this is my gym progress. I do my bicep curls so I can crochet more strongly. Okay, the head is officially finished. Huzzah! Very nice. Hello, Kaya. Just patting him. He's very fun. Okay, I want to do something with the green yarn now, even though the rabbit has so many things to make. So we're gonna make his overalls. An overall, haha, what a segue. Overall, actually, I was gonna say these are my favorite thing to make, but they're not because they're two-dimensional and they require a lot of joining and a lot of counting. So I actually maybe don't want to do that. I might actually go back to something else. Let's make the body. So the body is going to have 2 legs. So I'll start on one leg. I believe guidelines can be put in place on Discord to make sure everything is friendly. Oh, yes. I might have to. I meant the B word I said because it rhymes with stitch. And I would be concerned, although I think if people are old enough to join the Discord, I was going to say if they're old enough to join the Discord and have internet access, they're old enough to use big grown-up words, but that's not really true probably in this day and age, so that's a good idea, I think. I've been seeing all of your market prep. I've been slacking. It's okay, you're in school. Wait, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're in school and homework is important and you gotta be studying. School is your first priority. Actually, health is your first priority right now. School is your second priority. But do not even worry, you're doing wonderful for where you're at and you have so many years to do market prep. One of the things that got me through college was the idea that I'm gonna have my whole apartment by myself and I'm gonna have this whole room by myself to do my business in. And that really has been, is part of what kept me going. I lived in a really tiny room the last 2 years of college. And the first 2 years I lived in a dorm room. That was, its own thing. But my room in my senior year of college was 9 feet by 10 feet. For context, this room, I think is 9 feet by 12 feet. So, no. So my bedroom, plus my craft room, was 9 by 10 feet. And I had a full bed. A full is like less than a queen, but larger than a twin. So it felt like my bed and my desk took up like all of the space, and it was just a nightmare. The radiator didn't turn off, so in the winter, and I lived on the 3rd floor, so in the winter when all my roommates on the 1st floor got colds, they turned up the heater, and then I would get overheated, and I couldn't open the window more than 4 inches because there was an air conditioner in the way, and the air conditioner blocked the window light. What am I doing? Oh, 4 rounds, 12. Okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure I don't go over. But yeah, I had 4 inches of daylight, so it's a wonder I didn't develop really bad seasonal depression, because in the winter time, I got a sliver of sunlight about literally 4 inches. It was projected onto my periodic table, and so from copper to the lanthanides, which is like 3 rows on the periodic table, got really nice direct sunlight, and the rest of the periodic table, in addition to the rest of my room in general, were shrouded in darkness. It was a very, very tough time, but then I moved to New York where it's much colder, and I swore I wouldn't go to college because it was colder here, so naturally I've settled here full time, but there's more sunlight. My apartment still doesn't it faces north, which is the worst way to face if you want to maximize sunlight in the northern hemisphere, but I still get some sunlight in the morning, and I just get general daylight, if not direct sunlight, the rest of the time. So some of the ambient light here, although it's decreasing because it's like the sun is starting to set, but it is from outside, which is super nice. So yeah, overall pretty happy. I think one of the tougher things has been finding friends, because as an adult, making friends is so hard. Like in college, there's a big ball of yarn in the way. In college, you have classes, and you have clubs and extracurriculars, and you have like systems designed for you to meet people. I mean, you have orientations, which I really didn't attend because everything was virtual, but So I didn't have that either. But you will have it, hopefully, assuming that you are going to college soon. But once you hit an adult, it's like everyone, like, you don't realize how isolated, especially I went to a top 10 university. It's so isolated. Everyone thinks that they have to be better than everyone else, and then you go out into the real world and you're in like no one else is like you. Like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say, but it's challenging. So I've been trying to do a lot of socializing things. Like I mentioned, I've been going to run club and running, although I run so slowly compared to everyone else that I mostly just run by myself, and then everyone grabs beers at the end and I don't drink. So I just stand there with a cup of water and like smile and nod, and then they're all like 30 or older too. Like the person that I get along best with, because he works also at my company, he's 36. And it's like, how am I supposed to, get along with someone who's that old? I don't know. Hopefully no one watching is that old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now fasten off leg 1 and leave a long tail for sewing. Yes, sir. I shall cherish my vitamin D. Yes, please do. Long tail for sewing. How long of a tail are we thinking? Say when. I'll do here. Yay! Yeah, I joined a gym. My work actually has a gym, but I went for a few months, and the people going were like work people who were mostly doing it to like get fit, and they weren't like super nerdy about the gym, and I'm like kind of nerdy about the gym. I'm getting more nerdy about running, just because when I say nerdy I mean like hyperfixating, but I haven't had a diagnosis that involves hyperfixation, so I feel weird being like, oh, my hyperfixation is, because I don't want people who actually have those disorders. I'm referring mostly to autism here, although I don't know what the appropriate word is, because like I said, I haven't been diagnosed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But have you ever watched one of my videos and thought, this is what a neurotypical person would do? Neither have I, so I think I shall continue to use the word hyperfixation, because I feel like that is the most appropriate method to describe what's going on in here. We're starting the second leg, by the way, and for those of us who are just joining, I am making a bunny in a frog costume. My brain is shutting down. That's because I haven't drank water. It's time to drink water. Yummy! Shout out to H2O. I have been having less caffeine. I had caffeine in the morning a lot in the form of coffee, because my work has free coffee, and I was like, sweet, free coffee. And I casually developed a caffeine addiction, and this actually happened for 2 summers in a row. Actually, 3 summers in a row, because I interned there for 2 summers before they hired me as a full-time employee. And so for 2 summers, I got a really bad caffeine addiction, to the point where I'd have Monster in the morning. I would wake up at 5:30, have Monster, go running, come back, shower, change, go to work, have a coffee again. So I'd have like 150 milligrams in Monster, plus say another 100 in coffee. So 250 milligrams before 8 in the morning, which is so many milligrams of coffee. I'm amazed I didn't explode. And then on the days I was like, oh, I'm not addicted. And then on the days that I didn't have it, like on the weekend, it would be horrible. I would just like feel like I'm dying. I would feel like hungover, even though I hadn't had the thing that makes you feel hungover. And so this summer, which is when I was hired in July, so it wasn't as long of a summer as when I was hired in like late May for my first 2 internships, but it was still like, oh my god, kind of a problem. And so I started decreasing it. I started waiting till like an hour and a half after waking up before having coffee, and that certainly helped. But I further decreased it by changing coffee to yerba mate. So yerba mate is a tea that is Argentinian. It's traditionally consumed in Argentina, and it's special because you have it loose and you pour water on top of it. You drink the water, like it's become tea, but then you keep pouring water over it again. So you kind of steep it again and again, and the compounds kind of like continue to leach into the water, and so you get most of the caffeine in the morning, because I'm gonna get a little nerdy here. Caffeine is a higher solubility in water than the different compounds in tea. So tea has various flavor compounds, and so those compounds have various degrees of solubility. So as you continue to put water in, you're going to keep getting slightly different flavors. It's all like tea and stuff. It's not like, oh, lemon. It's not like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory starting to like make different types of tea. But it gives me something to do like during the workday, like just to get up, stretch my legs, go refill my tea. And so it's overall, tea has less caffeine than coffee by a factor of probably 3 or 4. I mean, black tea has 50 milligrams, and black tea is the highest. Black tea is the highest amount of caffeine, although I'm not sure if yerba mate is a black tea or green tea, because I drink it in a stainless steel container to keep it warm, because I always forget it's there, so I don't know what color it is. I mean, the leaves themselves are green, but it's not like green tea. Like, it does not taste like green tea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh! Okay. Don't fasten off leg 2, but continue on to the body. Body, continue from where we left off on leg 2. Fantastic. Chain 2, 1, 2, attach to leg 1 with a single crochet. This counts as your first single crochet. Swag! Hello to those who are joining on Instagram and YouTube. Out of curiosity, on YouTube, how is the streaming quality? I have a really good webcam, I think, and I'm using my headset microphone, even though I'm not wearing the headset because I can't hear you guys. So comment down below, chat, how the streaming quality is. Is it lagging at all? Is the frame rate okay? Let me know. Okay, attach to leg 1 with a single crochet. This counts as your first crochet. 5 single crochet, increase times 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of have to lock in on this round, guys, because if I mess this one up, it's going to be over. Okay, and then 5 single crochet times 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, times 2. No, increase, but you get the idea. 1, 2. Ooh, shout out to Crochet Calls. First of all, I'm using their pattern, and second, they're telling me when I should be hitting the chain, which is super cool. Okay, so 2 in the chain. So I'm going to do a silly little decrease, 2 together, but the decrease is going to be happening in like the fake hole in the chain. This probably makes no sense to anyone who does not crochet. It probably doesn't make sense to anyone who does crochet either, but it makes sense to me. So 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. Oh my god, did I do it? 2 single crochet and other chain. Oh my god, chat, did I do it? Even if I didn't do it, I'm gonna just make another stitch somewhere so I don't have to go back and do it again. Please get under both loops. I will look at the comments in a second, I promise. This is one of those things where if I stop looking up, I'm going to forget which stitch I was originally looking at, and it will not be good. Okay, to confirm, I should have 32 stitches. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Let's go! Very nice. It's running smoothly and the quality looks great. This is fantastic! This is the start of my streaming arc. I don't know. Maybe we should just do a Tetris stream. That's like the only gaming stream I think I can do, although I don't know if I'd be able to talk that well, because Tetris I really have to lock in. Like, you think I'm being annoying now. It's gonna be so much worse for Tetris. Sew the holes between the legs closed. Are there any holes? I don't see any holes. That's because I did that funny little decreasing, increasing fake holes nonsense that I was talking about earlier. So no holes necessary. In that case, I'm gonna trim these because they're low-key getting in my way. But we have our 2 little legs, and our rabbit wearing a frog costume, bunny. I'm not sure what his real name is, but he'll have legs, which is wonderful. 3 single crochet, increase, times 8. That is easy enough. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go from there, and hopefully I can count and increase and speak like a normal person at the same time. There's a board game cafe near me, and they do sometimes craft nights. It's called like Pearl and Play. Oh yeah, Pearl and Play, because it's a board game cafe. I just got that. I was like, what are we playing? Are we playing, cosplaying how to have a normal human conversation? I don't know. But no, it's playing board games, I just realized. I've lived here for how many months? And it's super fun. I went a few times, but I realized that it was really tough because, again, it was a very, like, alcohol-centric activity. Like, I didn't realize as an adult how many places are alcohol-centric. Like, we have work events sometimes. Not at work, but, like, we'll have, like, team building, where, like, once we went to play pickleball, and they had 2 free drink tickets per person, and, like, I could use the drink tickets to get, like, Gatorade, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna stock up on Gatorade. But people were just fully drinking, like, Miller Lights and, like, Heinekens, and then playing, like, how do you consume 2 full glasses of alcohol and then go play a physical activity and not completely fall over? I can't hang out for long, but it looks good so far, and you're so fast. Thank you. I am Speed. Thank you for joining. I hope you had a good time and enjoyed your whatever time of day it is for you. Godspeed, young one, or old one. I don't know how old you are. So I tried going to those events, and that was also one of my attempts to make friends, and it didn't really work out so well because everyone is so set in their own ways, and like some people came with partners or some people came without crafts, and it was just awkward because they were just like, oh, so like, what do you do? What do you do for work? And it's just a little bit awkward of an experience. So, okay, 9 through 13, 5 rounds. We're gonna do 40 single crochets. This is autopilot time, baby. We're gonna do a bunch of crochet, and we're not gonna decrease. We're gonna crochet like the wind. I may have overbooked myself this season. I'm doing so many markets, but I want to keep doing more. I think I need to find a balance of which markets are worth my time and which ones are not, because there are some markets. Oh, new video idea just dropped where I go through all of my markets and I say which ones are good and which ones are not. But that would be tiring and probably not relevant to people who don't live in upstate New York, because the rest of you would be like, what is this person talking about? This is not relevant to me. So, but yeah, I think it's important that I do all the markets. As someone who's relatively new to the area, I do the markets that seem good, and then if there are any bad ones, I write them down. I actually write down all of them. I have a fun little spreadsheet where I write down how much I earned per hour, how much I earned overall, the location, the day of the week, the date, who it was arranged by, the location of it, the type of audience, so like older people, younger people, queer people, conservative people. One lady asked me if I had Jesus figurines at my last market, and I was like, that's not the type of work I do. So things like that, and then also types of, I like how the parking is. Like, is the parking, like I have to park half a mile away and lug all my stuff, or can I pull right up to the table and unload? So stuff like that. Also things like if there are a lot of kids, and honestly the kids is not the bad part, it's the parents who can't control them. So if the kid will pick up everything and then put it down in the wrong spot, or even worse, they're like eating a little treat and they put it down in the wrong spot and now it's sticky. I have to go eat dinner, but good luck making your cute stuffy. Thank you, dinner is important. Someday I will eat dinner too, but right now is not the time because I'm crocheting, I'm locked in. But it's time to drink water. It's getting more lemony because as the water sits here, the lemon is continuing to diffuse, but I'm decreasing the available volume for the lemon particles to diffuse into, and thus we're increasing the concentration of our lemon in solution. Ooh, that's chemistry. As you can tell, I'm something of a scientist myself. That is a movie reference, but I actually have 2 diplomas on the wall out there that say that I'm an engineer, in case I ever forget. And they also have the name of the school I went to, which is also really helpful, because I'm worried sometimes that I'll forget that too, but hopefully I don't, because it was a lot of money to go there. anyone is watching and they're working on something, I would love to know what you're working on. It could be crochet, it could be friendship bracelets, it could be calming your body down after a long day, it could be stocking your grocery shelf. I was gonna say stocking your inventory for your market, but not everyone is a small business owner. It could be cooking, you could be sleeping, you could be halfway through a dream right now, and Alex from Alex's Innovations is casually crocheting away. What a wonderful dream that would be. My dreams are not that straightforward. They're usually like a mix of all the people that I know or ever knew in like a high school classroom. It's just like people who I haven't seen in 10 years are just like, oh, you're an engineer. Oh. It's much worse than that, but I won't share. You do great work. My daughter loves the toy you made. Yay! I'm so happy to hear this. This is so cool. I'm so glad that she enjoys it. I love when children get to experience the joy of little stuffies. Like sometimes I'm worried that parents won't want to buy something that is like handmade because it's not like durable enough, or it is like not like a conventional, it's not a squishmallow or something, so it could be a little bit I don't know, disheartening to hear that. But I feel like I've done really well at like most of the markets I've been at. There was one that I didn't do that well at, and it was a little unfortunate. I think it was just a combination of a really cold day and a couple other vendors canceling, and then there was no foot traffic because of those two things, and so I made like $100 over 6 hours, and the vendor fee was $25. And so for me, $75, like, yeah, it's not nothing, but I make usually more than that. So, but the rest of the markets have been strangely well for how little I know about some of them, and I kind of just sign up and take the plunge and hope it wasn't a waste of $50 or $100. I'm working on crocheting some flower pots for an upcoming spring market. Yay, that's exciting! Now I'm crocheting fidget poppets. That's so cool. I am a chronic fidgeter. I wish I could crochet at work, but I feel like it would be unethical to bring my crochet into my job, and because I'm making money from the crochet and also making money at the job, and if I'm crocheting, then most people would be like, oh, they're not really paying attention because they're crocheting, and to a certain extent, yeah, I am kind of counting stitches, although right now I'm not, I'm just doing 5 rounds, so. You're making stuffies with love, and handmade is better. Hell yes! Support local artists, support your local economy. Do not buy from Amazon, Walmart, Target, all of those larger online businesses. Do not ship stuff. Like, it's one thing that's a little infuriating about older people, and some family members that are older of mine are like, I love Amazon because you can just buy it and then return it if you don't like it, or they never ask questions, or you can buy 4 things and then keep one of them and return. I'm like, that's so much carbon that you're emitting, and Jeffrey Bezos unnamed man who definitely doesn't have ties to the streaming platforms that I'm streaming on, I don't know, they're profiting, and like whenever I get a notification someone bought a keychain for $7, I'm like, yay! So I package it with love. So that's a common experience for a lot of small business owners. So I highly encourage those of you who are in a space to be spending money. If you can't afford, if all you can afford is Amazon and Walmart, then so be it. But in the event that you do have a little bit more to support your local economy, even stuff like farmers markets where the groceries are usually the same price or cheaper, and they're much healthier for you, they're locally grown, you're supporting farmers that way as well. How you doing? Thanks for asking. I think that's the first how are you question I've gotten. Not in like a Joey Tribbiani from Friends, how you doing, but more of like a, how you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm doing alright. I did really well for a few weeks, and then this week I kind of had a tougher week mentally, but you all are still watching, so I must be doing something right. I think I've been training for my half marathon, which has been taking up a lot of time, and when I run, my brain kind of goes quiet. But recently when I lift, my brain does the exact opposite of quiet, and it goes haywire. So unfortunately, it used to be I really could lock in while weightlifting, listen to my music, make my muscles a little bit bigger, and leave at the end of the session with like a renewed sense of vitality, and now I feel that less. I think I know why, but I won't go into it because this is not therapy and this will be saved on the internet forever. So instead I'll say that running has been really helpful. There's a technique in cognitive behavioral therapy called EMDR or EDMR. It's been like 5 years since I had therapy, so forgive me. But it's a technique where you alternate stimulation on different halves of your body. So for example, like when I had it in my therapy, I would sit cross-legged and my therapist would have me like tap on my legs while like, you know, working through what we were working through. And so running is very similar to that because you're alternating left foot, right foot for, you know, my last long run was 2 hours. So for 2 hours, I'm just doing that. And it was very meditative. It would have been better if there weren't gusts of wind at 40 miles an hour pushing me over, or the fact that the temperature dropped like 30 degrees from the time I left my house to the time I got back. So had I worn more and ran in the opposite direction to counteract the wind, I think I would have had a better run. But as it grows warmer, I'm also looking forward to biking. I got a bike off Facebook Marketplace for $50 in December, and I got its tires changed and filled, and then I also got a new bike seat because the old one was super hard and painful, and so both of those things were another $50, and I also still have to buy a kickstand. But you know, one thing at a time. I want to make sure that I have done enough stitches, enough what's it called, increases. I hope I haven't done too many. I'm trying to find the last increase I did. I was only supposed to do 5 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's check another place to confirm, because in engineering we can't make assumptions. We always have to double, triple check everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now that we've confirmed that we've messed up, but next round is going to be 8 single crochets, 1 decrease. So I only have to unravel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only have to unravel up to the 8th one, and then I can go and decrease from there, which is the optimal way to go. But my half marathon is going to be a race, which is fun. Hold on, now I have to count again because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is fun. Decrease. So yeah, so the half marathon I'm doing is point to point, which means you start in one direction and you end up 13 and some miles later away, which is very fun. It's all downhill except for the first like 7/10 of a mile, or slightly more than 1 kilometer. I think Europeans don't come after me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they said like don't expect, or they said you should expect to PR. PR means personal record, so you should expect to run as fast as you can. You should run the fastest marathon or half marathon you've ever ran, and don't expect to run more half marathons and beat this time, because you won't, because you're gonna run so far and so fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yay! Okay. Next is 4 single crochets, double crochet times 6. Relatively straightforward as well. In my further attempts to socialize, I joined a food co-op. So going and supporting local businesses, and also finding a way to socialize and maybe meet people. So the food co-op is really cool because you go and you invest time. You can't call it volunteering, and I'll go into why, but you invest time, and in exchange you are earning a discount on your groceries. So you're not really like getting a paycheck, but for like you have to invest 12 hours a month, and to invest 12 hours a month you'll get a 24% discount on your groceries. And I honestly don't even get my groceries there, but the thing that I do is they have a bulk department. And first of all, I love bulking in general, but also I love the concept of a bulk department because you can try out all of these new foods and you don't have to buy a huge container. Like for example, olive oil. I love shopping at Sam's Club because it's so cheap because everything's in bulk, but I'm not going to use one Sam's Club quantity, or Costco, their equivalent, but one Sam's Club's worth of avocado oil before it goes bad, because I never use olive oil. I only needed it for one recipe where I needed 2 tablespoons. So they encourage you to bring your own jars, but they have some if you don't have and I got like 2 tablespoons of olive oil for like 50 cents, and I would have had to pay like $20 or $10 at Amazon, not Amazon, Sam's Club, in order to have that same avocado oil. So it's super cool. They have all sorts of nuts and like dried pasta and rices and beans and granola and coffee and flour. They have like 50 types of flour. I'm looking into making my own protein pancake mix because the one that I really like is only sold at Walmart, and I'm not gonna buy more since we stopped shopping at Walmart. And so I have to figure out how to make my own now. But maybe the cottage cheese girlies are onto something, and I'll have to start throwing cottage cheese into everything I own. But that means I have to get a blender, because I have an immersion blender right now, which is where you go like, like, you know, this all, so I'm sure you're familiar with what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm 1 stitch off again, so I'm gonna count my stitches. We should have 30 stitches, so let us see how many we have. I think I might have 29, but we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Interesting. Okay, in that case I definitely did I probably did 5 single crochets and a decrease somewhere. But we're well past that. We have the right number of stitches. We can easily just move on. So we're going to do 4 single crochets and then a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, decrease. Very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Michael's is discontinuing their Sweet Snuggles Light, which is a tragedy because that's like the only yarn that I use in addition to Bernat. I was very sad to see that because Michael's has some shades that no other yarn brand has, and so now I'm going to have to remake the things that I have in those colors. I'm going to have to remake them and then retake pictures from my Etsy because I don't want someone to buy something thinking they're getting like the Michael's equivalent of pickle green, but then they're actually getting like a lime green pickle, and like I would be betrayed, and I also don't want bad reviews. So now I have to take pictures of everything, which is a little bit annoying. But one thing that I did make recently with my new Premier yarn is an alligator, because I've been wanting to make an alligator in lime green for so long. Here, I actually have them right here. So this is the old one. He actually is really close to the color of my hair right now. This is called agave green is the shade. This is the new Premier yarn. This is in Kiwi is the shade, and this is the shade that I'm going to end up making this rabbit's clothing in. And it's just so much brighter, and you can also, one of the reasons why I think that they're the same yarn thickness is because these alligators are like identical in terms of size. You know, it's not the size that matters, it's the cuteness of the alligator that matters. But if Premier were significantly smaller or thicker or thinner, then they would be different sizes. But these alligators are like identical. That, or like my tension is just so amazing that I'm able to exactly replicate the precise shape of an alligator with every yarn that I make. Okay, so we're done with that round. So now we're gonna do, this one's also a bit of counting. We're gonna do a single crochet, decrease times 4. So, so 1, single crochet, decrease times 2, single crochet, decrease times 3, single crochet, decrease times 4. Okay, decrease again. Okay. Oh no, decrease again, and then we should do single crochet, decrease times 3 until the cows come home, and then we can decrease once more. I think that should be okay, and then we're almost done with our body. Yeah, this is the last round actually, so after this we'll fasten off and stuff, and the abbreviation for fasten off is FO, and I always think that means something else, so I have to stop myself from saying. But okay, yeah, this is where I was talking about earlier, like having a hole, not a hole, crocheting the back loops only. Yeah, back loops only on the head somewhere, so that it would be easier to like match up the head and the body. But I think it'll be be fine. It's relatively easy to see the stitches. If I were working with black yarn, that would be much more of an issue. But if I put him here, like this, on YouTube you can't see, but on Instagram, I could just put him like that so that he's looking a little bit over the comments. But anyway, alright, we'll fasten off here. Yay! But yeah, I think going live is fun. I like the idea of a Discord that was brought up earlier. This one we're going to be sewing, so I'll need to leave this tail kind of long, but hooray! Let's see. And been going for an hour and 15 minutes. That's so many minutes. Hello, welcome. I hear my cat. He wants to come in. He was jumping all over me while I was setting up the stream, and I was worried what he was going to do with the yarn, and I didn't want him to... Oh, I should stuff him right now while we're at it. I didn't want him to try and eat everything, because he loves to knock things on the floor, and I really like my yarn where it is, which is on the table. So right now we're stuffing his legs. We're going to give him a nice and thick little BBL action going. Nice. It's a little... I feel like I'm violating him in some way. But that's still fine. I typically charge $60 if you are curious for this piece because it takes me forever to make. Like, I've been here, to be fair, I've been talking, but it's been an hour and 15 minutes and all that I have is this. I haven't even sewed them together yet. Usually I make all the parts at once and then I sew them together, because sewing usually takes me like half of the actual time it took me to crochet the thing, you know, plus or minus. I also want to make another axolotl because that sold at the recent market that I had on Saturday, but I don't have the right yarn for it because the yarn that I used was Bernat, and right now I only have Sweet Snuggles, and Sweet Snuggles is a nightmare to work with when you're sewing because it just shreds everywhere and there's no way that you can get it to stop doing that. So I made my axolotl with Bernat, and I only have in light blue Sweet Snuggle, so it's a little unfortunate. Alright, he needs to be a little mushier, and he should be fine. Alright, chat. Well, I can always stuff him more when I go to sew him up, but I think I'll wait till I sew everything up. But here's how we're looking right now. I'll stop holding him like this. He kind of looks like the there's like a meme of this guy. I don't know what he does or what he says, but do you guys know the meme I'm talking about? Anyway, we'll leave him there. What am I making next? Arms. Arms should be faster and more straightforward, certainly. So for arms, we're gonna make 2. It's time to drink water. Wonderful. Oh, it's super dark out right now. I started streaming and the sun was out. For arms, we're going to do 6 single crochets in magic ring. Wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just came up with the most busting idea, which is crochet ASMR, where I just jack up my mic super loud and then I crochet silently and I do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if that would be watched. I feel like it's more unique than like tapping on skincare items, which is what comes to mind when I think of ASMR. But I feel like that would be kind of relaxing, especially if, you know, sometimes I just like listening to the, you know, the going like this. That's not a bad idea. I think I'm also hesitant to do YouTube videos because since I got my new computer, I haven't bothered to download CapCut. I don't know if CapCut's even allowed anymore because it's related to TikTok, and I don't know if TikTok is banned at this point. Okay, we're doing 4 rounds of 12 single crochet. Can do. So once I download CapCut or figure out, maybe I'll just bite the bullet, pay the $200 or $300 for Final Cut Pro, because that is a software that I do know how to use.
Actually, I don't know how to, no, I used it in high school, which was like 5-6 years ago at this point. But I'm very good with iMovie. It's just Final Cut Pro is like iMovie on steroids, and I'm not sure if I'd be able to like learn it fast enough. I'd be worried that there's too much that I don't need, that it would hinder my ability to use what I needed to use in like a quick and efficient manner. That's my only concern with it. But I feel like if I were to just, you know, it's not a subscribing software. It's a, you pay once and then you're done with it. I don't know if that would be a waste of my $200-300, but hey, tax expense, and I'll be making more money this year than I did last year because I will be employed for 12 months instead of 5. So I think if any year is the year to have expenses, this year and all of the other ones that come in the future until I retire would be those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We need one more. We're going to do 6. 1. We should have 12 stitches, so just counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's go. Alright, now we have 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a decrease. Wonderful, wonderful. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like those like ab workout YouTuber girlies, and they're like, alright, you're doing great, just one more rep. 8 to 9, 2 rounds. Just crochet a round, so 10 single crochets. And the pattern doesn't say to do this, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. At the end of these 2 rounds, I'm going to hold them together and then single crochet across, because that'll just make it easier to sew if it's 5 stitches instead of 10, because 5 is less than 10, and from my master's degree in chemical engineering, I know that counting to 5 takes less than counting to 10, so I think that might be beneficial. I'm actually kind of getting hungry, so after this yarn, I might stop the stream chat. I hope that's okay. I remember the guy who on Instagram kept saying chat is like the 4th person pronoun. Like we've exhausted the first 3 pronouns, the first 3 people, the I pronoun, the you pronoun, and the he, she, they pronoun, and then now we've advanced to bro and chat. Like, oh, bro's doing this, or like, bro's crocheting over here. Like, is that a 4th person? Am I referring to myself? Am I referring to someone else? Am I referring to you? We don't know. So I feel like chat could be a similar pronoun. I'm also getting cold, and I have my blanket, and I have my flannel, but, you know, it is what it is. It's time to drink water, though. Yummy! Wonderful. Alright, here's our arm so far. And then we'll just single crochet it together. And then I think my meal prepped quinoa salad with quinoa from the co-op, chickpeas, tomatoes, shredded carrots from the co-op, chicken breast, which I made in my air fryer, which I just got recently and do enjoy it. Oh, I missed a stitch! Oh no, that's why it was so silly. And avocado oil, which I got from the co-op. And then, what else is in it? Apple cider vinegar, which I got from Trader Joe's, which I shopped at before I knew about a co-op. Dijon mustard, see above about co-op and Trader Joe's. And salt and pepper. And I think some garlic powder, maybe? I don't know why I'm adding garlic powder to quinoa salad, but I definitely added something else. I'm not sure. And then lemon juice from the co-op. Well, the lemon was from the co-op. The very other half of this lemon, which is present in my drink right now. So, alright, that is one arm. The other arm will be made perhaps in my ASMR video that has not yet come out. Perhaps in no video and on my couch. We don't know. So, thank you so much for watching on both Instagram and YouTube. Thank you to those who are going to view this in the future, because there is a concept of time in which people view streams, even when they're not live, despite the name live stream. But I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. Thank you for watching. See you sometime. Goodbye on Instagram. Thank you. Okay, and then goodbye on YouTube. Let's see if I can figure out how to stop streaming. I'm gonna hit the stop streaming button and hopefully that takes it into account. But anyway, thank you so